This video is made possible by a grant from the Educational Video Fund of Esperanto, USA. For more information, check out the link in the video description below. Hi there. In my last video, I told you that when you see the word ke, you should probably translate it in your mind as meaning the fact that. Well, now I'm going to give you a big old whopping exception to that rule. But before we get to it, let's talk about the commands in Esperanto. What is the command ending, the imperative form of Esperanto? Well, if you've spent any time in a textbook, you probably would answer, oh, it's the U ending. You put a U at the end, you're now telling someone to do something. And that's true. That's how you give a command. But that's not the only way, and that's not the only function of the U ending. So, let's look at some examples. Requests and commands. The U ending is the way of saying do it. Dormi is to sleep, so dormu is sleep. Mangi is to eat. Manju is eat. Now, I remember in 2016, when I went to NOSC in North Carolina, it was my first time at an Esperanto gathering. First time speaking Esperanto out loud, and one of the big takeaways from that week, big realizations I had was that, oh boy, I know how to command someone to do something. I know how to say sleep, but I don't know how to do any other form of it. I don't know how to be gentle or make a suggestion. For example, if I just finished reading a good book in Esperanto, I could tell someone, read the book, legu la libron. Or I could even tell them, la libro estas leginda. The book is worthy of reading. It's worth reading, but I didn't know how to say, hey, you ought to check this book out. You should check the book out. Or, hey, I suggest that you read this. I didn't know how to say any other form other than just do it. Okay, that's when I learned the word devus. Very important word to know. Devus is a form of devi, which means to have to, or to must, or to have the duty to do something. Devus means should, or ought to. So, with that knowledge, I can now say, instead of just read the book, I can say, vi devus legi la libron. You should read it. And by extension, once you know devi, you could also say, vi devas legi la libron. You must read the book. You have the duty to read the book. And that's my problem, was that I only kind of knew how to say that. By just saying legu, dormu, manju, you're kind of saying, you do it. You have the duty to do it. I'm making you do it. That's really kind of intense. So, in order to soften it, you can say devus. That's should instead of must. Are there other ways, though, to express that you would like someone to do something or you'd like something to be a certain way? Yes, there are. I think it's time for me to introduce you to the Jedi Verbs. Why do I call them the Jedi Verbs? Let's read them over a little bit first. Mi petas ke vi dormu. I request that you sleep. Mi preferas ke vi dormu. I prefer that you sleep. I suggest that you sleep. I want you to sleep. I order you to sleep. I encourage you to sleep. I instigate that you sleep. I desire, I permit that you sleep. I demand that you sleep. I make it your duty that you sleep. Look at all of these versions. What is it about them that makes them Jedi verbs? Well, they're trying to use the Force. If you were a Jedi and you could go, these aren't the droids you're looking for, go your way, let us go on ours. If you could influence them with a wave of your hand, would you? Well, in these situations, yeah, I want that to happen. It's like you're pushing for it to happen. I was at this most recent NOSC, and Duncan Charters was giving a presentation about these kind of verbs and saying, if there's a push, a pressure applied, like I suggest that you do it, that's when you have the U ending. But I thought to myself, okay, yeah, that's good to encapsulate, but it wasn't particularly memorable in my mind. There was no word picture there, no mnemonic device. That's where I thought, okay, what if we think of it like this? The letter U here in mi petas ke vi dormu is like a magnet, a horseshoe magnet, which is shaped like a U, and if I could just pull or push with that magnet, I would. That is the push. So the magnet helps you. Would you use a magnet to get your way? Then use the U. Or, if you're a fan of Star Wars, would you use the Force to, like, make it happen? Like, oh, you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If you could use the Force, then use the U. And if you could use a magnet to, like, pull or push to have your way, use a magnet there. So that's where we say the Force word, the Jedi word, mi petas. I'm strongly wanting this to happen and I'm trying to influence it by doing this suggestion or petition or order or encouragement, what have you. Then you say a U at the end for dormu. Now, what is the other option? Well, if there's not a Jedi verb, then maybe you're looking at a zombie verb. Why do I call it a zombie verb? Well, I'm thinking of the old Bob Hope movie called Ghost Breakers back in the 40s. And there's this very funny scene where the straight man is talking to Bob Hope and his love interest, and he's saying, oh yes, there's a problem with zombies around here. Zombies? Well, what's a zombie? Oh, well, it's worse than you can imagine. You see, a zombie has no will of their own. You know, you see them sometimes walking around blindly, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats? Zing, very good comic timing there, saying that zombies have no will of their own. So in these verbs, you'll note that they are stating things in many ways, coming at it from different angles. They're all very different from one another, but none of them are trying actively to change the situation. They're all surrounding a fact. I might doubt the fact that you will sleep. I might think that you will sleep, but I'm not expressing my will here. I'm not saying that you should or should not. So, mi pensas, I think that you will sleep. I assert that you will sleep. I confess that you will sleep. I opine, I pontificate that you will sleep. I know that you'll sleep. I believe that you will. I understand that you will. I doubt that you will. I am in awe of the fact that you will. I suppose that you will, and I'm reporting that you will. See how those aren't trying to change it? They're not expressing that I want it a certain way, that you do or do not stay up late. So if there's no will of their own, there's no effort to change something, well then, it's a fact. There's no you ending then. You would use dormas, dormis, dormos, dormus. You'd use something else, but you wouldn't say mi pensas que vi dormu. You just wouldn't do that. So this is the situation I'm talking about in the last video where, and these are more common than the Jedi verbs, just like Jedis aren't as common as muggles or whatever non-force users are in the Star Wars universe. This is where you would say ke equals the fact that. But in those other situations where the will is applied, you wouldn't say I want the fact that you sleep, because it's not a fact yet. I want it to be a fact, but it's not. That's where you have a you ending. So let's recapitulate all this. Ke. When you see ke, how do we know what to do? Well, if it's a Jedi verb, one that is trying to use the force and have its way, then you use the force. Or think of it this way, you is the force, use the force. So if the force is there, put a you at the end. Mi petas, I request, ke vi lernu Esperanton. I request that you learn Esperanto. Whereas over here we have zombie verbs. They're not trying to enact the force, they're not trying to change something, they're just stating a fact. Mi pensas ke vi lernos Esperanton. I think that you will learn Esperanto. You see the difference? One begs the you ending to be there, one does not. And while we're on this topic, a related thing I want to talk to you about is something that I learned 2 summers ago at NOSC. I was in the class that Katalin Kovacs was teaching, and she mentioned the idea of ne parolu porke. Porco is pig in Esperanto. What do you mean, don't talk like a pig? We've heard of ne crocodilu, don't crocodile, don't alligator. But what, this is a new one, and it's a mammal no less. What does this mean, not to talk like a pig? Well, it means this. Ne parolu porke. Don't forget to put a u, parolu, after porke. Porke means in order that. Let me give an example of where we might use it. Here we have mi donis alvi pomon. I gave to you an apple. Why? Por manĝigi vin. In order to feed you. Okay, cool. There's no you ending in there. That's just one way to express, oh, that's the reason why. Cool. Now, if you want to express, I gave you that in order that you do the following, then you, instead of saying por something, you'd say porke vi manĝu ĝin. So you see a porke? What do you see after that? Manĝu. All right? Mi donis al vi pomon porke vi manĝu ĝin. So in the chart down below there, you see here we have the formula for a porke phrase. Mi faris, faras, faros, ion. I did, I'm doing, I will do something. That's a fact. In order that, porke, here's a force. Iu faru ion. Someone will do something. I did it so that someone would do that. Or, io fariju ia. I painted the wall in order that it look nicer. In order that it be nicer looking. So that's a bit more passive. Or, I gave you money in order that a party happen on my birthday. Now, you could say in order that you plan a party, but you could also say just that the party occur. So, io okazu. So if you see porke, you ought to have a you because that's what's going on. You're using a fact, and then you're saying that I didn't just recommend or suggest or want, I did something. But my phrase of doing, I gave you money, in order that you would do something. So here you are kind of turning a whole phrase into a Jedi verb. You're saying, I did the following so that you would do the following, and that is why the U ending belongs there. That's how you use the U ending. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.